We have come out with such a fun lineup of tools and tapes to use for your crafting, your quilting, your sewing, your embroidery. There are so many things on this table that you are going to love to have to, again, help you get organized or to help you with your craft so much easier. So, and we've updated some tools. We're constantly getting feedback from our customers, you guys, to figure out what we need to do next, what we need to do better. And a lot of what you see on this table is exactly that. So I'm going to start with tools, and then we'll graduate into the tapes, although I guess you could classify tape as a tool as well. So, but I'm going to start with some of the fantastic tools that we have at RNK that we've developed over the last year. I think you'll be really excited. One of my favorites that I'll just start out with is our new precision turning tool. And it looks simple, but it packs a mighty punch. This is such an outstanding tool. I have dealers and consumers call me all the time telling me just how fantastic this tool is. So we made it out of metal, and you can see that the tool actually is beveled, so that when you lay this on your table, it's not going to roll off. When you lay it on your sewing table or your cutting table or whatever, it's not going to roll off on you. So if you've ever had that happen before, but you will see that the tip is bald and it's metal. So if you are using it to push out a pillow corner, you can actually iron over it and not worry about it melting, and you don't have to worry about bending or breaking or poking through the corner of your pillow. So it's a really fantastic tool for pushing out corners. You can use it to straighten out the edges. You can use it for pushing in pleats. There are a number of ways that you can use this. You can also put beeswax on the tip of it to pick up your crystals and place them where you want them. So great tool, wonderful, heavy duty, and weighted really nicely. And again, that bevel will keep it from rolling away from you on your table. So that's a good one to have. I'm going to set these things aside as I go through them so I can show you a lot of these products. Another great tool that I have demonstrated quite a bit because I use it all the time, I'm telling you, all the time, is our heat craft tool. This tool is just the right temperature to burn away from your Floriani no-show nylon mesh to create appliques. It will burn away your sew shrink fabric. It will burn away your wet and gone. It burns away your stitch and shape. There are a number of products that it burns away, it etches away, so that you can create freestanding appliques, ornaments, all of those wonderful freestanding products and projects that you have going on. It does come with multiple tips, and again, this is called the Floriani Heat Craft tool. You will see this all over our website being used in a variety of projects. I love it. It's absolutely, definitely one that you need to keep and have all the time. I'll tell you something I just did with it, which was loads of fun. My husband had cut some aspen trees down in our yard. I live in Colorado, so the snow is just now melting. But anyway, he cut down some aspen trees, and I said, hey, don't throw away, I want some of those logs. And so I took this tool, and it does come with a straight long tip, and I actually used this to burn the wood and did some initials in some of the wood. So that was pretty neat. So you can use it for wood burning as well. So don't forget that little tip. It's really, really fun. Another tool that is brand new, hot off the press. You are the first to see it. This is our new micro itty bitty duckbill applique scissor. This thing is fantastic. I just used it to do applique, embroidered applique, so it was in the hoop. I used this on polar fleece, and if you've ever dealt with applique on polar fleece, you know that it is so easy to cut through, accidentally to cut the nap these were wonderful. So this little itty bitty tiny duckbill allowed me to get into the tiniest places on that applique. And I'll show you real quickly that this is by no means as difficult the applique as I was doing at home. But the advantage of this scissor is that this piece keeps you from cutting down into the base layer. And so I love that I can get so close to the applique, and I don't even think about it. I just cut. I just start looking at the top and I just cut right around, and I did this heart so you could see. Look how fabulous. I mean, just boom, you're cut right down into the edge of that heart. Love that. So do yourself a favor and get these. And we also made the finger holes extra large for you. So I have big hands, so that's really an advantage for me. But you'll love doing applique in the hoop or just applique in general. This is a really fabulous tool to have in your stash. Also, the other scissor that I wanted to share with you is our precision tip. We had these, we still have these in our Floriani line with a curved tip, but I wanted one that was straight so that whenever I'm cutting, I can easily transition and turn points and cut into deep pockets of fabric. So imagine if you are cutting into a V. This scissor allows me to get all the way down into that point. I love that. These are fabulous for also fussy cutting or snipping up into trims, ribbons, rickracs, things like that, anything that you're wanting to cut away. So another great tool to have in your stash. Do yourself a favor and try out a pair of these. Now, this tool is so unique. My husband, Ricky, who's co-founder of RNK Distributing, actually developed this tool. I cannot take credit for this. I love this. This is called the thread nest tool. Have you ever created a thread nest? It's a mess. And that usually happens when your thread jumps out of the take-up lever in your sewing machine. So you have no tension on the upper thread, and what happens? You look underneath and you've got this giant nest of thread underneath your embroidery frame. Has that ever happened to you? It has happened to me more than once, let me tell you. So the way this works, this awesome tool will actually go underneath the hoop. You hook it around the thread nest, you push, and it lifts the hoop because of this angle. And then you take the cutter and you can cut the thread nest away from the bobbin area. And hopefully you have just saved the garment that you have hooped. So again, you can hook it and then you take your cutter and it just cuts out from underneath. This is a wonderful tool. And if you have a friend that's an embroiderer, get them one too, because they will love it. So it's just really a great combo to get those messes cleaned up without sacrificing your garment. And yes, that is a very sharp blade. It does come with a little cover that goes over the top. So really great tool to have in your stash. Now on to tapes. So we've covered the tools that are in the RNK Distributing line. We've covered a lot of fantastic products today that are in the RNK line. Now I'm going to show you some of my all-time favorites. Really, really awesome. And I think you could call these tools as well an oldie but a goodie, or I won't say an oldie. It's only been out a couple years, but I still like to introduce this product. This is our embroidery perfection tape. I developed this tape because people were starting to use painter's tapes and other tapes to do things in their hoop, and it was leaving a nasty residue on their fabrics or on their hoops or on their machines. This tape does not leave a residue. So let me show you how we use this. It's really like an extra set of hands. That's what I call it. So this is a baby onesie that I have stuck down to our sticky tearaway stabilizer, Perfect Stick, and I stabilized the baby onesie first and then stuck it down. So you guys remember that tip. Always, when you're sticking down, use your fusible stabilizer to prep the fabric and then stick it down. So I know I'm repeating myself and backtracking a little bit from some of my previous videos, but just always want to be teaching, right? So we've got our onesie stuck down. Now what I'm going to do, instead of using clips or things that may jump off the hoop and get underneath the needle, look how easy this is. I've just taken some of the embroidery perfection tape and I have literally taped the onesie back so that the embroidery can form inside of this bowl. I also love this for taping down my toppings. That way, whenever I go to put my topping on the surface of my t-shirt or whatever it is I'm doing, I only have to use a small piece and I can tape the corners down with my embroidery perfection tape. So I love this tape. It's really great, and again, it does not leave a residue on anything. So that's a good one to have as well. These next tapes you are going to absolutely love. This particular tape is called Stitch Perfection Tape. So we had our embroidery perfection tape. Now we're going to stitch perfection tape. This product comes in 1/4 inch and it comes in 1/2 inch. I'm going to open these up so we can get a visual here on what these look like. These are completely water soluble, needle friendly, so you can stitch through these. But the magic is they're double sticky. So you have sticky on both sides of the tape. They're water soluble. You can stitch right through them, and then it all washes away in the laundry. So really, really fabulous. So I have some trims here. I love to use this for zippers. You actually can stick your zipper down instead of pinning it down. How awesome is that? I love that. And then this is just a bunch of ribbons, your rickrack, and it just sticks down, and then you peel back the release paper and then you can stick your trim down. Why wouldn't you pin it? When you pin your trims down like rickrack, you get, this is a word I use often, you get wonky wobbles down the edge of the trim. We want this trim to be straight. So when you pin it, just like when you pin your quilt back or your quilt binding, you have to be careful or you get waves, wonkiness whenever you're trying to stitch. So I love this. You can stick your trim down and then stitch it, and you're done. You don't have to remove the pins. And then here you can see I have stuck down quilt batting to the edge of this piece. So you can actually tape your quilt binding in place versus pinning it in place. So that's a really quick, fast way to get your quilt binding in. So try that and you are going to love it for zippers. Absolutely, so much better than pinning. Definitely much more precision there. Last but not least, I want to share with you our newest to the tape family, and this is called Perfect Grip Tape. Looks a lot like athletic tape, or maybe if you went and had your blood drawn, it kind of looks like that. But what's different about this tape, it is very stretchy. It is much stickier than what you would get otherwise, and we put a nice smell to it. It smells like vanilla cookies. That was what we decided to do to make it smell nice. And so where in the world would you use this in a sewing room? Why would you need this in your sewing and crafting? There are about 1 million places that I use this. And I won't even start to tell you where my grandson uses them all in my house. So I can't ever find this stuff because everybody in my house uses it. So first and foremost, there was a method to my madness when I created all of these colors. So you'll notice that we've got green, blue, and red. When you pick up a roll of your stabilizer to use, do you pay attention to the labels? Red is for cutaway. Green is for tearaway. Blue is for water soluble. Purple is for specialty products, and white, anything goes, whatever you want to use it on. So that's the reason I chose the colors that I did, so that you could color coordinate. When you open a roll of stabilizer, now you have a nice tidy way to neaten up the edge of the roll, and if you want, you can even stick the label in there or the instruction sheet and catch it with this. And the great thing about this product is it comes apart and it doesn't damage the base. So you can use it to tie back plants, you can use it to bundle cords, you can bundle magic markers, crayons. I love it to wrap my scissors, my gardening tools. This is great when you're doing a lot of cutting, your rotary cutter, anything that you want to bundle together, and then the tape will not damage the surface. Have you ever tried to hoop something that's super sheer? Let's say that you're using your wet and gone and you're doing some lace designs, and your wet and gone is slipping in your hoop. Use our 2-inch, you'll see these others are 1-inch, and I made the purple in a 2-inch width. Use this 2-inch width to wrap around your embroidery frame. Let me just grab that here and I'll show you really quickly how to do that. We will take out this baby onesie real quickly. But you literally just go around your embroidery frame like so, just like this, and tape it. And now you put your wet and gone over your lower frame and then hoop just like so, and that creates enormous tension between the inner and outer hoop without damaging the hoops and without damaging the fabric, and keeps everything in place and keeps it from slipping and sliding. So it's a great way to add that tackiness to your embroidery frame, and again, it doesn't leave any residue at all. So just think anything that you want to bundle, package, and put together, reach for your perfect grip tape. It's really a fabulous, fun tool to have just around the house, also in your sewing and craft room. So enjoy all of these great products from RNK Distributing, and stay tuned because we are always coming out with new stuff. Be sure to visit our website, rnkdistributing.com. Tons of information, videos, free projects for you to download, and always exciting things to see on there of how we're using all of these great tools. So thank you.